There's an ant walking across my camera. Not impressed. Hi guys, it's Lynn Van Nieuwe, and if I look familiar, it's because I'm literally wearing the exact same thing I filmed in the video that I uploaded yesterday. I literally just finished filming that video, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll put a link down in the description box. And yeah, today is story time day, so I'm going to talk about a near-death experience that happened last summer. And it's going to sound really dramatic, but I promise you I am not being dramatic at all. I literally almost died. So last summer my husband and I went to go look at waterfalls, and this is something we do quite a bit in the summer. We live near Hamilton, which is a city in Ontario in Canada, and it is known to have the most waterfalls out of any city ever, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it's like the waterfall capital of Ontario, so we frequently go over to the region, like in Stony Creek, Dundas area, and we go hiking and go look at all the beautiful waterfalls. Our personal favorite is Webster's Falls, and that is in Dundas, and I actually wanted to get married there, but Will ended up proposing to me there, which was the sweetest thing ever. And we go to Tews Falls, which is like basically in the same park area, and it's like a huge waterfall. It has like a 300-foot drop or something like that. I'll put how high it is here. But anyway, we love going to that area of Ontario and going around and going to all the waterfalls. Another favorite of mine is Albion Falls. That one is absolutely beautiful. It's a cascade fall and it is just so gorgeous. You can literally like climb the waterfall because it's like all cascades, and it is so pretty there. Anyway, so we had gone tripping around going to waterfalls. I think we had actually gone to Albion Falls that day, and then we decided that we wanted to go look at another waterfall that was apparently like pretty close in proximity to the waterfall that we were at. So we ended up going to Felkers Falls, and it ended up being like a 10-15 minute drive from Albion Falls. So we were like, okay, let's do it. So we went, and this was a waterfall that had a high drop, and it just was from the top, and it dropped really far down into like a pit below. So we were like, okay, let's go to the bottom. And unbeknownst to us, there was actually an easy accessible trail that you could use to get to the bottom. But no, we didn't know this. A, I was wearing flip-flops that day, which was stupid on my behalf, I will admit. And B, we decided to go down a muddy hill because it had actually previously rained either that day or the day before. It was like in the springtime, so it was like everything was really muddy. So we decided to go down to see this waterfall, and we took what seemed to be the least steep slope to get down to the bottom. We ended up going down, I would say, at least 2/3 on our asses, just sliding down this muddy slope to get to the bottom. And then when you get to the bottom, there's like a creek that leads like up towards the waterfall, and that was like a good 20-30 minute walk to get to the waterfall itself. And it was spring, so mosquitoes were just like insane. Like there were so many mosquitoes. Like I remember when we got home, we literally had bites all up and down our arms, our legs, like basically everywhere we had mosquito bites. So finally we get to the waterfall at the end, and like, let me just say, when we got to the waterfall, it was really anticlimactic. It was a nice waterfall, but definitely not worth what we had just gone through to get to it. And this isn't even the worst part. So we were hanging out at the waterfall for a little bit, just like looking at the water at the bottom and watching the waterfall and like hanging out, whatever. Finally we decided, okay, maybe we should pack up and go home. So we decided that instead of walking the 20 to 30 minutes back where we came from to try and get up the muddy slope that we had originally came down on our asses on, we decided, let's walk up a little bit and let's see if there would be anything easier that would be able to get up. I don't know why we thought this would be easy. I am not even exaggerating. This slope was at least 70 to 80 degrees. It was like practically straight up and down, and it was basically divided into 3 sections. So the first bottom section was all rubble, so it was like medium-sized rocks and smaller rocks, and it was all just basically natural rock. So we scrambled up that, and then the second section was all mud. So I ended up losing my flip-flops on that trip. because they got stuck in the mud and they kept sliding off and my feet kept getting caught and like just totally annihilated by the fact that I was wearing flip-flops to try and climb this cliff. And then the third section was all straight up and down, like completely not exaggerating, sedimentary rock. So if you don't know what sedimentary rock is, it's basically like rock, like cliffs that have formed over the years that are all like rugged and sticking out. So we basically had to rock climb this fucking cliff thing. Literally not exaggerating, it was straight up and down. We are clinging on by our fingertips. Like, I remember how sore my hands were after this experience. They were practically like permanently bent because of me trying to like latch onto these cliffs. The cliff area was probably like 10 feet worth of just straight up and down cliffs that we had to like rock climb to get the fuck out of this gorge. I remember that I had gotten to the top of this cliff and I had like put my forearms like on top of the cliff and was like latched on to the other side trying to like haul myself up. But the problem was Will was like right behind me and sort of like barely hanging on, and he was like kind of off to the side but kind of near my feet, and so I was worried that if I moved anymore that I was gonna like kick him off the side of the cliff and he would fall to his death. But I was also concerned because I was having a hard time trying to latch on and pull myself up. So I was like, we're both gonna fall off this cliff and fucking fall to our deaths. And right at the top of the cliff there was a walking trail in like the forest area, and I was so pissed off. This couple of old ladies, like two little old ladies just walking their dog along the trail that was like on top of the cliff, see me like hanging on for dear fucking life like off this cliff, and they're like, do you need help? And I was like, kind of, yeah, like I'm like about to fall and die to my death. Was that a sentence? And they were like, they just kind of like gave me a weird look and kept walking their dog. I was like, are you serious? Like, call the fire department or something, like do something, like we're about to die. And they just kept walking their dogs. I was like, are you kidding me? Basically, we did end up pulling ourselves on top of the cliffs and we just laid there for like 5 minutes, like completely dead. Like, we were exhausted. We literally just thought we were going to die. We were covered in bug bites. We're bleeding. Like, my foot was covered in blood. I will try and find a picture and I will put it here. It was because we were climbing and I had lost my flip-flops, so I ended up cutting myself on like a rock or something, but like basically my entire foot was covered in blood. And the picture that I showed you doesn't even do it justice because I had actually cleaned it up a little bit before taking that photo. It was just awful, and it took like 2 to 3 weeks to heal. Like, I had fucked it up so bad, and it was like all infected because I had been like cut wide open on my foot and trying to like climb a cliff in like mud and dirt and just bugs everywhere, and it wasn't good basically. But we were covered in blood, we were covered in bug bites, and we literally thought we were going to die. And these two little old ladies were just like, okay, whatever, we'll just leave them here to fall off the cliff to their deaths. Basically, end of the story. If you're going to look at waterfalls in the Hamilton region, don't go to Falkers Falls. If you do go to Falkers Falls, please make sure you find a suitable trail that is not going to basically kill you and make you slide down on your ass and then climb way back up to your imminent death. I would seriously never go back to Falkers again. It definitely was not worth it. It was so anticlimactic. The waterfall wasn't even that nice, and we almost died. 10 out of 10, do not recommend Falkers Falls. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about my practically near-death experience. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, I post all my social media pages down in the description box below for you guys to check out. And until next Sunday, keep shining. Bye, guys.